Welcome to today's Property Wealth WOD, guys. Michael Beresford here from Open Corp with an article from the Fin Review. And I think it's a good one in light of all the things that we're hearing in the press these days about the big differences between men and women. This one is titled, "Women save more in super than men sometimes." And the first line is, "Here's something surprising. Women can be better super savers than men." Goes on to talk about how, on average, women with taxable incomes over 80,000 have higher balances than males of the same age and income. When you skip to the top tax bracket, interesting to know that women aged 25 to 29 actually have average balances 46% higher than men of the same age. That's really significant. Okay, so rather than using a whole bunch of stats, and these figures, by the way, compiled by Industry Super Australia using the latest tax office statistics, that's where we're getting the information from, I'd like to focus on why that happens. Okay, it's not necessarily that women are better savers than men or so on. What it comes down to are two things: mindset and urgency. So while the pay gap, the gender pay gap is constantly being talked about, and the fact that women have large chunks of time in some cases out of the workforce to raise a family, all of which is true. Why is it then that they're actually outperforming men in terms of superannuation numbers? Well, it comes down to the fact that there is some urgency for them to contribute extra given they've got fewer years in the workforce. And secondly, it's not just a theoretical need to do it. They've actually got their mindset and they're committed to taking action to make those extra deposits to grow their balance over and above men who would typically take a complacent view to it. I'm going to be working for the next 40 years. My employer will be making the standard guarantee, super guarantee contributions, and she'll be right, mate, because that's what a lot of my mates think. So when we actually look at this, and by the way, we've done a couple of WODs in the last few weeks that talk about taking control of your super and talk about taking action and why control and flexibility around where you make those investments can get you far superior outcomes than the same run-of-the-mill industry super funds out there as well. So we'll get the links to those WODs put down below. If you've got another 5 minutes or so, click on a couple of those and you can get some more insight around the super side of things. Back on track with respect to this article, however, there's a table in here that actually shows what the average balances are. Okay, and I've highlighted a couple of numbers here. These are for income ranges for men and women between 80,000 and 180,000. Okay, and it says that between the ages of 60 to 64, okay, that the respective balances for women and men is around 491,000 and 459,000. Okay, now at face value that might sound like a big number, okay, but by age 65, with the way life expectancy is going, most of us are going to have a good 20 years plus left on the planet once we get to age 65. So while you'll still continue to get some growth on those investments over time, simply put, a bit under, let's call it 500,000 as a round number in super, if you're wanting what the government refers to as a comfortable retirement in terms of $50,000 a year, personally I want more, but if 50,000 is enough for you, then can you see how that superannuation is going to run out well before you actually get to an age where you pass on? And that's where the next reduction comes down in terms of the age pension. For a couple, it's only $34,200 annually, which works out to a bit over $600 per fortnight. Okay, so this one, ladies, hats off to you. Mindset and urgency is creating action. Action is the only thing that separates people that want to do things and people that actually achieve great things financially. Okay, and the final point to finish on is that very first sentence. Here's something surprising. Women can be better super savers than men. let's get one thing clear. Superannuation is not a savings account. It's an investment vehicle, okay? And you need to critique the way your superannuation is performing and the kind of growth that you're getting on that superannuation and how that's going to help you achieve your financial goals down the track, okay? If you put that money, you may as well put it in, if it's considered a savings account, you may as well put it in the best term deposit you can get. You'll get a lower return than what the super funds are doing, which again is a lower return than what you can be getting through effective investments, upskilling yourself on what you need to do and what kind of action is required to get to your goal. So hopefully that helps, guys. Take a bit of action right now. Click on the 2 links below and we'll see you next time for another Property Wealth WOD.